Good
evening, viewers. This is Sujata. I am a career counselor and I am a part of Career Naksha HR team as well. Today we have Bhanumathi ma'am, Bhanumathi Das Sharma ma'am, and we are going to talk about solution focused brief theory. So, Bhanumathi ma'am is a freelancer psychological counselor. She is a teacher, art of living teacher, life coach, hypnosis and NLP practitioner, positive psychotherapist, SFBT practitioner, and trainer of CBT, REBT, and SFBT. So, and she is a retired banker from Canara Bank. So, I welcome you, ma'am, in this session, and now I handle it over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. I wish to thank Career Naksha and their team for giving me this opportunity to conduct an introductory webinar on solution-focused brief therapy. So, shall I start my PPT presentation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, let's see what is solution-focused brief therapy. It is a widely used psychotherapy technique developed by Steve DeSischer and Insu Kimbe in the late 1970s. What is SLVT? Basically, it's an approach to change. It is an evidence-based approach. Actually, when solution-focused brief therapy started, there were a lot of people who used to criticize, saying that it's a band-aid approach. It is only applicable for small problems. It doesn't work for major psychiatric disorders or mental issues like depression, schizophrenia, bipolar, OCD. But then intense research had been done, and it is an evidence-based approach. It works for all types of problems. Next, it's a non-normative approach. Let me explain a little bit about it. What is a normative approach? In traditional psychotherapy technique, the normal rule or the format is a client comes for the therapy. After rapport building, the client talks about the problem, and then therapist analyzes the problem, analyzes the root cause of the problem, does lot of testing, then diagnoses the problem, then psychoeducate the client, and then prescribe solutions and tasks for the problem. Whatever disorder or problem, the therapist prescribes. But here it is nothing like that. It is non-normative. As a therapist, we are least interested in knowing what the problem is. We are not interested in knowing the root cause of the problem. We do not jump into giving solution. What should be the solution? Oh, this person is having OCD, so what should he do? No, this is a non-normative approach. It is totally outcome driven approach, not problem focused approach. It is simple, effective, and helps people to find a way to move forward towards a better future. It accomplishes rapid and sustainable change in a time effective way. What do we mean by time effective way? It doesn't require more than 2 to 3 sessions. Within a very short span of time, a rapid and sustainable change is accomplished. I'll give you another example. Now, what happens is when a client calls you up and fixes an appointment, that particular day the therapy starts. Say, suppose a client calls me today and I give him an appointment for, say, next Monday, the therapy has already started, because the client, there is a shift in the client from the problem to the hope. That, okay, now that I've fixed an appointment with the therapist, now there is going to be a change in my life. That hope is instilled the moment the client fixes an appointment. So the therapy starts from that particular moment. Okay. It is a shift from what is wrong to what is it that you want. You means the client. What is it that the client wants, and what is it that is right for him? He decides, not me or the therapist. Steve DeSischer said, problem talk leads to more problem and solution talk leads to more solution. See, when you talk about a problem more and more, you zoom, it gets enlarged. So he said, if you talk about the problem, it leads to more problem because your mind is totally on the problem focus mode. But when you do solution talk, your mind is on the solution and the problem gets minimized and the solution gets maximized. As a therapist, a solution focused therapist, we are not problem solvers. We are heart healers. We instill hope in the client. Our job is to lift people up, and then it causes them to solve their own problems. Or even if the problem is not solved, at least they are able to endure unchangeable circumstances. For example, it can be grief, it can be any loss. So if we do not solve the problem, we only empower them to take care of their problems. Who is SFBT for? It's an appropriate approach where change is required because you're stuck in a life situation where you need to find a way to move forward, where the change is desired. That is, you want something different. It works almost instantly. It works fast, and in a brief amount of time, it brings results. It is used for individuals, family, organization, group settings, etc. Solution focused approach can be used by anyone. You don't have to be a therapist to use this approach. All you need is a growth mindset. You can use in your day-to-day life for yourself and also for your friends. Most of the time we see our friends or someone close to us, they come to us and they start talking about their problem. Then you can use this approach. Okay. But normally what happens when a client talks, our friends talk about the problem, either we give them jump to give them advice or we say, Arey, mere saas bhi aise hi hai. Oh, your mother-in-law is this. Listen to what my mother-in-law is. And then we zoom our mother-in-law problem and their problem is shifted. So here we don't do that. We anybody can you can practice anybody can use this approach, but only thing is it has to be solution focused and you need to have a growth mindset. Why choose SFBT? Because of its lightness. Simplicity is very simple. You don't have to break your head. Minimalistic intervention. What is meant by minimalistic intervention? SFBT therapists feel, especially in Sukimbang and Steve Decision, they felt clients have better things to do than waste their time sitting in front of you talking about their problem. They believe life is for living, not for cribbing, not for sulking. It is for living and enjoying your life. So, if 1 or 2 sessions can bring a change in my life, why go for an 8 to 10 session intervention? So, if I can achieve the desired outcome in a minimum amount of minimum intervention, why waste? It's pocket friendly for the clients. Of course, not pocket friendly for the therapist, but still, if I am a SFBT practitioner, my client is a central to the therapy, so it is their choice that has to be given importance. No need to understand the problem. I don't have to break my head knowing what the problem is or what is the root cause of the problem. No pathologizing, no diagnosis. I don't have to refer to that fat DSM-5 or ICD-10 book. I don't have to label the client that he is a OCD client, he is a bipolar client. No, I don't need to label them. Most important, it honors the autonomy of the client. Clients are the experts of their life, and so they should be given the ownership of the life. Clients come for maybe an hour's therapy and they talk about their problem, say 15 to 20 minutes. And are we competent to decide what is good for the clients? They know what they are going through. They are the experts of the life. But as a therapist, we act as if we know what is good for them. This in SFBT, this is not done. Clients are the experts and they should be given ownership. The moment you give them the ownership, responsibility is equal to power, and responsibility is taken, it's not given. The moment they take responsibility, they enjoy the fruits and they take credit for the success also. It leaves more choices for a better future that they want, not what the therapist want or the referrer wants. Okay, next, what makes SFBT different? In SFBT, each and every conversation is different. Basically, it's a language based therapy. So every conversation is different and unique. It builds towards what the client wants using their resources, their own skills, their own resources. We don't provide any tool for them. We don't give them the resources like a thought record sheet. We don't give them. It is their resources they use. The focus on the details focuses on the details of change and not the problem. It is tailored to each client's language in every session, because what the client says, that is what the therapist works upon. Changes that the clients describe is more powerful than what you ask them to do. Difference between SFBT and other approaches. Other approaches are problem focused approach. Detailed description of the problem, their causes, diagnosis, and prescription of the solution by the therapist. See, what happens is when a client talks about the problem and there is a detailed description of the problem, then it gets magnified and the client is emotionally down. Their physical vision, their emotional vision shrinks. They only see limited possibilities. Their creative vision also gets limited. It also shrinks. But SFBT is a description of the client's best hope, desired outcome approach. It teaches you to work effectively with any client regardless of the problem. It teaches you how to access the client's strengths and personal resources that could be used to overcome any obstacle. Then what happens? They are on top of the world, and they have, when you do panoramic view, when you're on top of the world, your vision is a huge vision. Positive vision expands the creative vision. This is the impact of emotion on the vision, and SFBT does just that. What we do is we start with small presuppositions and gradually move to bigger and huge presuppositions. We expand the vision by instilling hope and confidence in the client. We believe the clients have strength and the capabilities for change. It is, we don't believe that we need to change them, but we trust the clients and that they have the capability to change. The power of hope. It can lift and transport us anywhere, anytime. The very fact that the client comes for therapy is evidence that they have hope. Say, suppose a suicidal client comes for therapy. The very fact that the suicidal client has come for therapy, that means they have a hope that if I talk to my therapist, maybe I'll find a way out of this hopelessness situation. So, when hope is present in the environment, the client is able to do better. Therapists should also instill hope and trust in the client, and therapists should also instill hope and trust in the therapy process. Hope I'm clear till now. Okay, then we will go to a very important ground rule for SFBT. That is, first is grounding. It is very similar to listening skills like paraphrasing, reflecting, etc. That is rapport building in other therapy sessions. In SFBT, what we do after grounding is we shift the conversation from problem talk to solution talk. Uh, um, like shifting the track of a train, we shift the conversation from problem to solution talk. I'll just give you an example. Suppose a client comes and talks about the problem, blah 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 blah. Then what we do is, after rapport building, proper grounding, we ask the client, what would you like your life to be, instead of that, whatever the problem is, that we summarize and say, what would you like your life to be different, instead of the so and so dash 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 problem. So that way we validate the client They also feel heard. Catharsis also takes place, and there is a shift towards the desired outcome. Then language, use of constructive language. We have to be very specific in choosing the language, like best, first, most. What are your best hopes? And if there is change happens, what is the first thing you will notice? And we need to use identifiable indicators because they are very clear and specific. For example, a client says, I want to be happy. Then, okay, then we need to say, okay, suppose you achieve happiness, what will be the first sign that will tell you that you are happy? And give me at least 5 indicators that will tell me, if I'm watching you, that you are happy. Then they will say, okay, I'll wake up with a smile in my face, I'll jump out of bed, I will be singing, I'll hug my near and dear ones. These are all identifiable indicators. So we need to use those languages. Then comes co-construction. Client brings expertise about their life because it's a partnership between, it's not the therapist based approach, it's a co-construction. It's a partnership between both the therapist and the client. Client brings expertise about their life, content of their life, their best hopes, what life would be like, etc., etc. Therapist brings the expertise around the language, around all these ideas. They know how to convert this into a solution focused approach by using their language. SFBT, that's why SFBT happens at the language level. Now we come to the 3 essential mindset, which is BOD. My essential mindset for the therapist, actually. We need to believe that the client is capable of change. In the activity of answering question, there is a potential for change. How they will answer the question, there, that is where it happens at the language level. That is where you need to, in order to be a successful SFBT therapist, you need to use creative language. You should be an expert in asking the question in the language. Outcome. Then conversation is around the desired outcome which the client hopes to achieve. It is not the goal. Say, what exactly is the difference between goal and outcome? I'll explain to you a little later. Then description. Description of the detailed description of the presence of the desired outcome, past and future, to accomplish change in the present, in the client's life. Now, there are 3 steps to SFBT. Every SFBT therapy starts with the desired outcome. What outcome is the client hoping to achieve while working with a therapist? It is an outcome driven approach and not goal driven. If you don't know what the client's desired outcome is, you cannot proceed in the therapy. And it is not goal driven. I'll explain to you what it is, goal and desired outcome. Some facets of the description of the presence of the desired outcome, that is the detailed description of the desired outcome, should be discussed in the therapy. And then SFBT ends in a very specific way. That also we will discuss. It does not matter what the client's current problem is. It can be depression, it can be anxiety, relationship issues, child issues, OCD, blah, blah, blah. What matters is what the client wants to achieve. What transformation does the client want to experience in their life as a result of being in the therapy? In what way they want to transform, not what the psychiatrists want them to achieve, or not what the referrer wants, but and not what the therapist wants. It is what they want to achieve in their life and bring a transformation in their life. Now we come to the SFBT model. This model was developed by my, see, I have been trained by many SFBT therapists. Initially, I was trained by Dr. Arnold Hubers. Later on, I was trained by Joe George. And then finally, I was trained by Dr. Elliot Connie and Dr. Adam Freire. This SFBT model was developed by Elliot Connie and Adam Freire. That is desired outcome. They used to call this as a diamond model, but since I am not very good at drawing, I'm not done the drawing. So it starts with the desired outcome, which is on top, and then, like a diamond, it moves. Detailed description of the desired outcome. That is description of a world where the desired outcome is a reality. How do you do the detailed description? That is past history of the desired outcome, present the resources that they will be using to achieve the desired outcome in the present, and scaling to measure the achievement of the desired outcome, and the future of the desired outcome, which initially they used to call as miracle question. Or the time machine, you must have heard about the time machine. It is similar to that. And closing, it closes, every session closes in a specific format, and every session is a therapy in itself. Even if they come for the second session, that is treated as a therapy session. It's not a continuation of the first session. That is treated as a separate session. That's why in every session the therapy happens. Now we come to the desired outcome. That is, what is the desired outcome? That is a meaningful change and not transformation. Now let me explain to you the desired. What is the difference between goal and the desired outcome? You must have watched reality shows like Indian Idol, Dance Plus, Dance India Dance. Though they are where judges ask the participant, अगर आपको वो क्या बोल ट्रॉफी जीतना आपके लिए कितना मायने रखता है. Trophy, winning the trophy is the goal, and the difference that will make after winning the trophy is the desired outcome. ये trophy, so suppose this is a trophy, ये trophy आपके लिए कितना मायना रखता है. Then the participants will say, हाँ, अगर हम ये trophy जीतेंगे तो हमको इतना पैसा मिलेगा, मेरे मम्मी पापा के लिए मुझे एक मकान खरीदना है, हम बहुत गरीब हैं, मेरे पापा के लिए एक ऑटो खरीदना है, I have to take my parents on a world to see. This is the desired outcome. Goal is to win the trophy, but just winning the trophy and keeping it in the showcase, will it have any meaning? For that, I'm the 20-30 episode, I'm making such a lot of effort, like that caterpillar to butterfly. It's a very hard journey. You make lot of effort, you struggle, you do all that just to win one trophy and keep it in the showcase. No, what is the difference that will make when I achieve that goal? That building a house for my for my family, and buying an auto for my father, taking my aged parents on a tirth yatra, all those things motivate me to win that trophy. Okay, desired outcome is the best hopes and possibilities. Hope is one of the most powerful force on this planet, which I had already showed you. Desired outcome leads to transformation or change. Hence, outcome is synonymous to transformation or change. So the presupposition I told you, from caterpillar to butterfly, that transition from caterpillar to butterfly is very painful process, but the end result, it's beautiful. The butterfly is so beautiful. In order to become a butterfly, you need to have hope and expectancy, and that is should be realistic plus best. It is not desires and more, not desire, oh, humko ye chahiye. Expectancy is for the process of change, and hope is for the change. And the therapist believes that anyone can change. If a client comes for a session, it means they are motivated. Otherwise, why should they waste money on us? If they are paying us 1,000 rupees, 2,000 rupees, they are motivated, they are expecting that they will get something out of it. So therapy needs to convey this hopefulness and expectancy for change to the client. And the therapist should believe that change is possible. What change? Meaningful change. And the same belief should be transferred to the client also. Client also should believe that change is possible. And the therapist should believe in the client's capacity to change. Harry Corman said, if you don't know what the client wants, then you have no question to ask. If you don't know what a client's desired outcome is, then you cannot proceed in solution focused therapy. Now we'll go to the how to ask the desired out, how to find out the desired outcome. There has been lot of changes in solution focused breath therapy, and Chris Ison in 1999 developed this opening statement: what are your best hopes from our talking together? This is a very, very powerful statement. So I'm going to explain to you in details about it, word by word. So let's start with the first word. What? Here we are assuming that people are talking for a good reason. They just don't want to, they are not your friends जो तुम्हारे साथ आके time pass करेंगे. Even now friends, they come to spend time with you, they sit beside you, but they are very busy looking at their mobile. So when a client is paying and sitting in front of us, we assume that they have come for a good reason. So but that reason might not be what they were referred for. What maybe a psychiatrist would have referred them, or a correctional home would have sent them for change, or some relative would have brought them. So it is not what the relative wants, or the therapist want, or the psychiatrist want. It is what the clients wants, for which they have come for the therapy. We cannot move forward unless and until we know what exactly the client. Next is word is are. Now. It's not past, it is now. We don't ask them what was your best hopes or what will be your best hope. No. What are your best hopes? Now, what is it that the client wants at the point they arrive for the therapy, not at some point in the past. Then, most important, your. It is the client's best hope. They are the center of the conversation, not the therapist, not the referrer. Client is most important. Now we come to best hopes. I'm clubbing it. Best hopes. This best hopes should bring a transformation in the client. It should be the transformation that the client is looking for. It has to make a difference in their life. And not only it has to make a difference in their life, it has to be attainable and achievable. Attainable plus achievable, at the same time it has to be the best hope, not mundane everyday hope, and it is not desires and wants, it is the best hope. So that is very, very important. Next comes from. What desired outcome the client is hoping to achieve from the therapy session, and what will happen during the therapy, that is already decided. Therapy process is already decided, but what the client will be getting from our talking together, the client and the therapist, it should be the presence of the desired outcome. So it is from. Then comes, I'm going to club all the other three. Our talking together, because it's a co-construction. And it is the focus on the therapy process. It is not the goal. The therapy process, and it is a co-construction. Our talking together. The client and the therapist are partners in this therapy process. Clients are the expert of their life. They bring the expertise of their life, their best ways of doing what they want. They know how to do it. Their best way of doing what they want, they will bring, and the therapist will use that language, because it's a language based therapy. The therapist will bring familiarity with the way of talking by using the language. So, this is very, very important. What are your best hopes from our talking together? But there is a catch to it. What happens is, usually as a SFBT practitioner, I have seen when a client comes, they are conditioned to believe, they have been conditioned that I have to go to a therapist, and the therapist will ask me what is your problem, why have you come. Then I will have to tell all about my problem, and the therapist will analyze the root cause of the problem, do testing, diagnosis, psychoeducation. Then the therapist will give me task, homework, or solution, whatever. And suddenly, instead of after rapport building, Instead of asking the client, what are your problems? Why have you come? Suddenly I throw this question. What are your best hopes from our talking together? They are derailed. They don't know. उनको पता नहीं है क्या बोलना है. And then they may say, I don't know. That doesn't mean they are assistant clients. They are not, because they have all they are on an autopilot problem focused mode. They are not able to articulate what is it that they want from the therapy session. So they may tell you, I don't know. Then you suddenly I think, oh, then he's a resistant client. Usko to change hona hi nahi hai. No, but we have to find the best hopes, otherwise we cannot proceed. Then there are all alternate questions which I have written down, which we can ask, or roundabout way. So if they say, I don't know, we can ask, how will you or how might you know that our talking together has ended up being used to you? Or we can ask, what difference are you hoping that our talking together might make to you and your life? Or what are you hoping will be different in your life as a consequence of you coming to the therapy? Or we can ask, if our talking together were to end up being useful to you, how would you be able to tell? Or we can ask, if this conversation was useful to you, what would you like to see happening? What difference will that make to you? So these are other ways of arriving at their best hopes, because without that we cannot proceed. Okay. Once we know the best hopes, that SFBT model, we know we have arrived at the best hope. Now we have to go into detailed description. How? History of the desired outcome, resources for the desired outcome, future of the desired outcome, which is miracle question, then scaling. Now we will see in details what these four. Then we come to the closing. Now let's see what is history of the desired outcome. Previously, when Steve Decision and Insu Kimberg started, it was called as an exception question. They used to say, after they listened to all the problem, they used to tell the time when the problem didn't happen, or little bit of the preferred future, or the problem was less in intensity. And then they used to say, okay, do more of what works or work before. Steve Decision believed that nothing happens all the time. You can't be depressed 24 into 7, 365 days. There must have been a time when the problem was not there, or it was less of a problem. Intensity kam hoga. Exception is a time when your problem is gone or presence, or it is present, but it is severity is low. But now what they do is they don't ask this exception question. Instead, they ask instances where their desired outcome is present. That is more of a solution focus. It is a shift from exceptions, which was problem focused, to instance where their desired outcome is present. Now it is more of approach towards a preferred future. And but we have to ask about the history that is had it before. Suppose a client says their best hopes is desired outcome, they want to be happy. They must have had happiness. The moment they say they want to be happy, that means they are not happy now, but they must have had happiness before, which they don't have now, and they want it back. So they had it before, and their relationship to it at that point of time. When they had, and their relationship to it. And little parts of the solution are already in place. Our job is to invite the client to notice, that is problem से shift करके outcome की तरफ जाना है, and to do more of what is actually working. And then invite them to describe in detail the future they want, and inviting to describe the elements of the past that fit with the future they want. Because past, present, future, all has to be around the desired outcome. Not only describe, but also take responsibility for the presence of the outcome in the past. Because unless and until, say, suppose the desired outcome was present in the past and they don't take credit for it, they will not be motivated to work towards achieving it in the present and future. So they need to take responsibility and credit. They could have taken help of other people, but they also should be given the credit and responsibility for having had the desired outcome in the past. Only then they will be able to proceed to the future. Now let me give you, this is what is history of the desired outcome. Let me give you 2 or 3 examples of how to ask the desired outcome. Suppose a client says he wants to be happy, that is his desired outcome. Then we can ask, can you tell me about the time when you were happy, or can you tell me about the time when happiness was present in your life in the past? And they will tell. And then you can say, what was your relationship to it? What did you notice? Then you can, what else? What else? What else? The more and more you ask what else, the more and more they will be, pura vision change ho jayega, huge vision. The emotional vision, creative vision, everything expands, top of the hill. So what else? What else? Everybody has a significant others jinka opinion, like Facebook, whatever we do good we post it in Facebook. We want our significant others to notice or thumbs up though, and fortunately now messages we ready made aa jata hai, we post them. So we want the significant others also to notice what we have achieved. So you can ask who noticed it and how did they notice, how did they let you know that they had noticed that happiness was present in you. So these are all how you ask a detailed description of the desired outcome. But one of my participant, in my earlier workshop on solution focused brief therapy, one of my participant has asked me, what has past got to do with it? वो तो चला गया, अभी हमको प्रेजेंट में फोकस करना है, वो पास्ट को लेके हम क्यों सोचेंगे? Suddenly it occurred to me that Facebook, many times we post a lot of pictures with our friends, in parties or whatever it is, and after a year it comes saying that, do you want to share it? This photo was posted 2 years back on this particular day, do you want to share it? Your friends will be, and then your memory gets rekindled. Oh lovely, I don't even remember. Oh lovely, and then I feel like sharing it again. So this is what is the purpose of detailed description of the desired outcome. Then then hope will come. Okay, had happiness, now it is possible. If I could achieve it, why not now? That hope comes only when we have a detailed description of the desired outcome. Now let's go to the resources. Next, presupposition. We have to have the presupposition that all clients have skills and resources leading to meaningful change and congruent to the desired outcome. You may have lots of skills, but all may not be related to the desired outcome. So the skills and resources should lead to a meaningful change, and it should be congruent to your desired outcome. Only then you will be using them to achieve your desired outcome. Resources and skills and attributes of the client can be used to achieve the desired outcome. It is basically nothing but activating clients' useful ideas. They are the strengths and useful strategies which the clients can use, their own strengths and strategies, not the strategies which the therapist will prescribe, which they can use to achieve the desired outcome. Not only these resource skills and strengths are the internal resources, but at times we can use the external resources also, like friends, relatives, significant others, including a psychiatrist, medication. If you are under a psychiatrist medication, suppose you are having a bipolar disorder and you are under a psychiatrist using medication, then you are coming for that medication also helps you. And the therapist, the psychotherapist, or if you are a college student, you have any problem, your teacher, your professor may be helping you. They are also external resources which can be used to achieve the desired outcome. Resources are the client's positive qualities and meaningful relationships, because the significant others will help you only when you have meaning relationship with them. So each and every question has to be about the presence of the desired outcome and connected to the client's resources that could make the desired outcome a reality. Very, very important. Let me repeat. Each and every question that the therapist asks, because it's a language based, has to be about the presence of the desired outcome and connected to the client's resources that could make the desired outcome reality, not the one which are not congruent to the desired outcome. Now, let me give you two, three examples of resource activating questions. Like, you can directly ask the client what skills, traits, and abilities you have that you can use to achieve your desired outcome. You can directly ask them. They'll be very happy to tell you. Or when you are doing the rapport building, like you can ask them, what are you doing, what hobbies do you have. Okay, you are a chartered accountant. Wow, how chartered accountant is a very difficult course. How did you complete the chartered accountancy? Then he will be happy to tell you, "Oh, those are all the resources." And then those resources, when you that also indirectly you can have, or you can directly ask them what skills, traits, and abilities you have which you can use. Then we can ask them who else can help you. The signif we have to involve, because we are not isolated animals. We are a social animal. We live in a society. We are dependent on others. So, and the others are dependent. So who else can help you if to achieve the desired outcome? If your own internal skills and resources are not sufficient, you can take the help of significant others. So that also we can ask. Now we go to the miracle question. That is future of the desired outcome. Miracle question is very famous. I'm sure everybody must be aware of what the miracle question is. Originally, the idea was to help the client think about the future where the problem was bothering them is no longer bothering them. So they used to ask, when you wake up, suppose you go home today and you sleep, and while you are sleeping, a miracle happens and all your problems are solved or disappear. You don't know while sleeping. You wake up in the morning, suddenly you see that it is solved or disappeared. What would you notice? It is a problem focus. Even though it's a miracle question, the focus is on the problem. That is problem focused question. But problems in realities don't go away. So, and when I learned SFBT, I also used to use the same frame. They say, ma'am, but the problem to hai, problem to nahi ja raha hai. How can I visualize? How can a miracle happen? Because they find it difficult to imagine a future without the problem. It does not mean that we cannot have an outcome which we cannot achieve. We can have problem, in spite of it we can achieve our desired outcomes. एक भी बंदा नहीं है जिसकी लाइफ में प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. Does it mean that they have not achieved success in their life? No, it can never be an obstacle in achieving my desired outcome. Now what it is done is, we don't ask this question. We say, we we help the client describe their future when the outcome they want is achieving, or it is a reality. Outcome is already happening. Like when you wake up tomorrow and you see that your desired outcome is a reality, where it is designed to help the client envision and describe in great detail what they want their future to look like a time machine. And you can also, suppose it is 2023 now, and in 2030, when all your desired outcome is a reality, and now you are transported to 2030, what difference will it make? What will the version of you look like in 2023? The version of Bhanumathi, and the 2030, the version of Bhanumathi who has achieved her desired outcome will be totally different. See, initially, I'll tell you, I was a passive person. I was a passive aggressive person. But gradually, I learned assertiveness technique. Now I can say my initial version was I was passive aggressive. But now, after learning assertiveness technique, I won't say I'm totally assertive. My new version is assertive aggressive. I'm also aggressive, assertive aggressive. So that is my new version. So that is called transformation or change. The old version and the new version. And it is a powerful and impactful way of creating change. And it is to help the client describe the experience of moving towards the change. So I'll give you a future of the desired outcome. question sample. You can tell the client, suppose you wake up tomorrow morning and you find that your desired outcome is already present or it's a reality. Then now you have to use specific language. What is the first thing you will notice? You have to be, what will you notice? If you ask, they will be very vague. So you need to be very specific. What is the first thing you will notice? First, FIRST block letter. Or then you will say, give me 3 to 5 identifiable indicators which will tell me that your desired outcome is present. Then you can say, who else will notice? Suppose मैं चिपकली बन के दीवार में बैठी रहूंगी और मुझे क्या दिखेगा? That तुम्हारा desired outcome is a reality. And what would you be doing differently now that your desired outcome is a reality? These are sample questions you can use, but you have to keep being creative when you are using. Now we come to a very important part of it called scaling. Scaling is central to solution focused therapy. You all must be aware of what scaling is. Oh, 0 to 10, 10 hai this, 0, where are you now? See, so it is central to solution focused therapy. It describes their life in specific way. That is, support people in describing and to facilitate emergence of the description. Clarity आ जाएगा. Pinpoint, bang on, कहाँ पर हूँ मैं? And it is a description of numbers. I'll give you an example of scaling in problem focus. Like, I have osteoarthritis, and periodically I have to take the physiotherapist help. And the physiotherapist uses the scaling question, but in a problem focused way. So the first day he asked me, ma'am, 0 to 10, 10 आपका maximum pain है और 0 में नहीं है. Where are you now? So I said, oh, I'm at 8. Oh, acha. Okay, then we will do 1 week therapy and then let's see how it goes. So after 1 week of ultrasound, TENS, IFT, exercise and all that, now he asked me, now ma'am, in a scale of 0 to 10, 10 the height of intensity में pain है, 0 एकदम pain free है, आप कहाँ पर हो? Then I said 4. See, previously it was 8, but they are problem focused. But here we will use scaling for solution focused question, and it can be used in 3 core areas, and it's a wonderful tool. Say, suppose as a therapist you are stuck while asking a question, solution focused question, say, then you can use the scale. They will rescue you. You can proceed further. Scaling with history of the desired outcome you can use, scaling with resources you can use, and you can use scaling with the future description. Let me give you an example. If you have to use scaling with history of the desired outcome, you can say, suppose in the scale of 0 to 10, 10 is your total achievement of desired outcome and 0 is the opposite. In the past, when you did have whatever was that desired outcome, say peace of mind. In the past, when you did have peace of mind, where were you? Then the client will say, maybe I was, say, 6. What was going on at that time? Then from there you can take the question forward. If you are stuck in asking questions on history of that, what was happening at that time? How did you move all the way to 6? You could have been in 2, you could have been in 3, and then you can give them the wow, lovely. You could move easily to 6. Well, how did you do it? When he will describe how you did it, that can also be taken as a pick the resources from there. What all he used to reach 6 and not 3. So you write it down. And then when you ask scaling in with resources, you can say again, in a scale of 0 to 10, 10 is your total achievement of desired outcome, 0 is the opposite. Where are you now? Then where do you see yourself now? Then the client will say, abhi to 6 se to niche aa gaya, that is why he has come. Oh, I am at 3. Oh, acha, what did you do to get to this number? Then he will tell what he did. Acha, how come you are at 3 and not at 2? Definitely he had used resources to reach at 3. He could have been in 1, he could have been in 0. Minus also, agar total depression hai, So he's still hopeful. You need to appreciate, you need to credit him, you need to give him the responsibility. Wow, lovely, you are at 3 and not at 1. कुछ तो अच्छा है ना, 3 is also a good score, 2 से तो अच्छा score है. Then he will tell you what he did to get there, and what skills did you use to get there. You're using but we will not ask what skill will you use to go up. No, that's again problem focus. So what skill did you use to reach that particular score, and then you can explore that resources more and more. Similarly with scaling, for future description, we can say, suppose you wake up tomorrow and a miracle happens in a scale of 0 to 10, where 10 is your total achievement of desired outcome. See, when you're asking the scaling with resources, where are you now? And he's saying 3. From there onwards, you have to go to the future description. So you wake up and then you realize you have moved one scale up. 3 to 7 nahi. Thoda thoda, yeah, 3 to 3.5. Half scale up. Small presupposition, not huge, gradually move to huge. So suppose you realize that you are at 3.5 or 4. What is the first indicator that will tell you that you have moved from 3 to 3.5, or you are at 3.5 and not at 3? Then they will tell you what else, what else. Like that, you can go for detailed description of the scaling question. Now we come to the closing of the solution focus therapy session. Session closes in a way that it honors the autonomy of the client, because client is central to solution focused therapy, not the therapist, not the referrer. Client is central to solution focused therapy, and it should honor the autonomy of the client. Clients should be able to choose their pathway forward. They will decide what they want to do after the therapy is over. Traditional psychotherapy techniques like CBT, REBT and all, we give homework to them. But 99% of the time they don't do the homework. They say, oh, आज घर में गेस्ट थे, privacy नहीं मिला, हम भूल गए and all. See, when we all were students, we all were in school, and the teachers used to give homework. Did we really enjoy doing the homework? No, it was a burden. And not only that, the teacher was an authority figure, and hum niche hai. I'm not okay, you are okay stage. Those of you who have done transactional analysis will understand that abhi bhi hamare andar I am not okay, you are okay stage to rehta hai. So when a therapist gives you a task to do, again you are transported back to your child emotional state, where the therapist becomes an authority figure and you are below, and I'm not okay, मेरा प्रॉब्लम है, and he decides what is to be done, and वो हमको होमवर्क देगा, हमको बैठ के करना है, and I'm not happy doing it. So इधर में वो प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं, हमको कोई होमवर्क नहीं करना है, तुमको जो करना है तुम करो. It is your life, it is your choice, what you will do. So, but we can ask them to observe or notice all the positive things, because this therapy itself is a transformation. Definitely we hope and believe the client is positive change aa gaya hoga. So we can ask them to notice all the positive things or changes before coming for the next session. That they can do, because वो वैसे भी आप नहीं भी बोलेंगे. Suppose before they come for the session अच्छा हुआ, तो they'll be so excited to come and tell you, हाँ मैंने ये किया, because you are giving them the credit, you are giving them the responsibility, you are honoring them, autonomy honoring. So they will be, बच्चे लोग होते हैं ना, वो खुद कुछ करते हैं, तो they have all the energy and enthusiasm to come and say, मम्मी मैंने ये किया. So anyway they will come and share it with you. We want the client to decide what change they want in their life. We won't say तुमको ऐसा change करना, नहीं. If you tell them what to do, then they are not part of the change. They have to decide whether to comply or not. They are masters of the change process. वो जी रहे हैं ना, उनका लाइफ है, वो मास्टर है अपने लाइफ का. So they should have the a choice to do or not to do with it, what to do or to do or not to do, whatever it is with their life, they should have the choice. And session itself is the intervention, not like 8 to 10 sessions you need for the intervention like in other therapies. Here every session is an intervention. You can ask them, what changes will you be looking out for as you go home? So they are doing the homework in the class itself. It's a classwork. Rather than asking them to do something at home, we will put the question, we'll throw the ball in their court. What changes will you be looking out for as you go home? They will tell what changes, and now you better take responsibility and the credit for it. Pat yourself. That's it. It is an intervention. The client decides for himself. They should be able to choose the best version of themselves because it's their life. उनको तो बेस्ट बनना है. हर एक की ख्वाहिश बेस्ट बनने की ही होती है. किसको बेस्ट नहीं बनना है? Accomplish rapid and sustainable change in a time effective way. When you give them the responsibility, credit, or you honor their autonomy, then uh, sus- this you are be rest assured that you can accomplish rapid and sustainable change in a time effective way. तुरंत होता है, instant होता है. Now, suppose they come for when they come for the second session, we every session is to be treated as a separate session. Second session में भी हमको पूछना है what are your best hopes, but what we will do is we will take a feedback. उनको भी तो they will also have that enthusiasm to tell you, no. But if you don't ask them and say what are your best hopes, वो balloon, you are bursting the balloon. तो उनको भी पूछना है कि tell me what has been better since we met last time. They will tell you, they'll relish and tell you all that they have done to achieve the desired outcome. Then we should appreciate them. We should say, oh, lovely. What else? What else? How did you do that? Wow, how did you do that? How did you achieve it? Who saw it? Who helped you in it? Okay, and what else? What else? What else? बोलते बोलते. उसके बाद वो जब exhaust हो जाएंगे, then again you ask, what are your best hopes from our talking together? इस सेशन में हमारा तुम्हारा बातचीत में तुम्हारा क्या चाहिए? Treat every single session as a separate entity, separate. Different version of themselves at every session. First session में वो प्रॉब्लम फोकस मोड में था, दुखी आत्मा था, और सेकंड सेशन के बीच उसने अपने आप काम किया. फ्रॉम दुखी आत्मा he has become to a सुखी आत्मा. और मे बी माजामाजी बीच का आत्मा भी हो, बट द दुखी आत्मा is a one version and the Sukhi Atma is another version, that different version of them. So they have to be a different version of themselves at every session. Then you can ask them, when they talk about what all effort they are done to bring the change, then you can ask them, what do you think you might have done that's associated with building these changes in your life? See, the client takes the credit. मैंने ये किया, मैंने वो किया, I did this, I did that, I did this, I did that. So you give them the credit. Okay, because that is how you honor their autonomy. Now we have come. This is how the second session, and if they want, they can come for the third session, which rarely happens. 2 max to max 3 sessions. This is how the solution focused grief therapy works. It's just a small introduction, and in case you are interested in learning more about it, you need not have to be a therapist. You can learn it for your own life and your near and dear ones. My number is available. You can contact me and you can learn it in detail. But before ending, my trainer, Elliot Corney, always says, remember that you are just one question away from making a difference. Because it's a language based and everything has to be question based. You are just one question away from making a difference. Thank you. If you have any queries, if you have any doubts, or the session is open to you. If you want to ask any question, you can ask me.
Very true, ma'am. And I also have one question, ma'am. So we can say it's a
Yes.
short-term therapy.
Yes.
we can say it's a short-term therapy. Like we have to go for maximum 3 sessions for this. So it's a short.
Maximum, I won't say you have to go. The clients don't need more than 2 to 3 sessions, because see, once you empower the client, they can deal with any issues.
Right.
सी प्रॉब्लम्स तो हर एक के जीवन में है, प्रॉब्लम्स किसके जीवन में नहीं है? नरेंद्र मोदी से लेके मेरे तक, मेरे मेड तक, हर एक के जीवन में है. डज इट मीन हम मुस्कुराएंगे नहीं? इन स्पाइट ऑफ इट आई कैन बी सक्सेसफुल.
Yes.
Am I making sense?
Yes, ma'am. So that's a big thing. Like we should keep smiling because everybody's having problems in life. So it's depends on
हाँ,
how.
प्रॉब्लम तो होगा, but what exactly you want from, see, life is for living, not for cribbing. If you can
Yes.
be in gratitude mode, then life is a celebration. My guru Sri Sri Ravi Shankar ji says, life is a celebration. Life is for celebrating, not for crying and cribbing and sulking.
Yes. Very true, ma'am. So thank you so much for such an informative session. I have also learned many things like power of hope, how it is important in your life, and what is
Yes.
SLVT theory. And you have to use very creative. You have to be very creative when you're dealing with
Yes,
your
yes.
client.
When you're formulating your questions, you have to be very creative. Okay, I'll give you a simple formula for being creative. Watch more and more and more videos of SFBT in YouTube. You will be spoiled for choice. You have n number of videos of Steve DeSisher, Insu Kimber. You have n number of videos of my first trainer, Dr. Arnold Hubers. I had been intensely trained by him. You will get access to n number of his videos. You will get access to Elliot Corney's n number of videos. He gives lots of free workshops. He conducts n number of free workshops. You will get access to it. जितना आप वीडियोस देखोगे, with the more and more you upgrade, and then start practicing in your life. You don't have to wait for a client to book an appointment and you can start practicing in your day to day life with your near and dear ones. Like you have your family members, कोई ना कभी तो अपना दुख भरी कहानी तुमको सुनाएगा. Then instead of saying, oh don't worry सब कुछ ठीक हो जाएगा, या अरे ये करो, मैंने पहले ही बोला था, I told you not to do that. No. And then, or okay, jump into giving advice. No. और यू ऑल्सो ज्वाइन द प्रॉब्लम बैंड वैगन. हाँ, मेरे लाइफ में भी ऐसे हुआ था, मेरा भी उसका प्रॉब्लम तो दूर हो गया, मेरा प्रॉब्लम बढ़ा. द फोकस इज शिफ्टेड ऑन माय प्रॉब्लम फ्रॉम द पर्सन हु हैज कम टू टॉक टू मी. इंस्टेड what you do, you listen to them and say, अच्छा आप मेरे पास इतना, आपको क्या, you have come to share your problems with me, what are your best hopes from our talking together. उनको सोचना पड़ेगा थोड़ा. देन वो और दुख भरी कहानी नहीं बोलेंगे. व्हाट आर यू होपिंग टू अचीव फ्रॉम टॉकिंग टू मी? व्हाट आर योर बेस्ट होप्स? You can use it in your day-to-day life. You need not have to be a therapist to use it. Even when you are upset, you can ask yourself, मुझे क्या चाहिए?
Right, ma'am. Sure. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for such
Actually,
an
I'm
information.
not able to see anyone, so I really don't know how effective I have been. I'm only able to see my PPT screen, and I don't know how to come out of it also.
Yeah.
I'm
So
not.
it's very.
I don't think I'll be able to see the participants also, those who are viewing, watching my video. Anyway,
Yeah.
if they have any questions, they can ask me. And if they need intense training on this, my number is there. Wait, I'll go to the first slide. Yes. My number is 98742 11369. 94334 68800. So I'm easily approachable. You can approach me, and if you're interested in learning this therapy, because this is just an introductory webinar, you can't learn SFBT by watching this webinar. You need to learn the nitty-gritty of this therapy.
Yes, ma'am.
So you can contact me, and when I conduct next month, I'll be conducting an online workshop, 2-day online workshop for MAP, Mental Health Action for People, MAP in Kolkata, West Bengal. But of course, it will be an online workshop. So you can, once the flyer is ready, then I'll send it to you. You can distribute it among Career Naksha members. So if anybody wants to learn, they can pay and learn the workshop.
Sure,
Okay.
ma'am. We'll surely like
Thank
to
you.
join, ma'am.
And
Thank
I
you
would
so
like
much.
to thank Career Naksha again for giving me this opportunity to get in touch with people. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.